Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to end a video, and this is a paid request for Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Patreon and Cash App for those they've asked before. PayPal is usually the best way to do it. I'll get to it as soon as I can. And for those interested, thank you. I really do appreciate it. For those who have sent it. Like I say, it could be any type of video, review, commentary, video game playthrough, whatever the case may be. And this is for the 2007 film Vacancy. Which we'll be honest, watch it again. It wasn't as bad as I remembered. But it's definitely a film that it's harmless in the fact of Kate Beckinsale and Luke Wilson. I don't think they did a bad job in the film. You have some recognizable people in the backdrop. Frank Whaley, who was in films like Swimming in Sharks. He played Lee Harvey Oswald in JFK. Ethan Embry, who was in the Can't Hardly Wait, that movie. It's a film that is pretty short. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And I don't mind the premise, which is, what if you entered a motel room, there's VHS tapes, you look at it, they look like horror films, but then you realize they're snuff films made in the same motel room you're staying in right now. So what if you have a motel in the middle of nowhere where people didn't make snuff films? I actually think that's an interesting idea. I said, watch it again. It wasn't that bad, just something about it was missing. I don't know what it is, just something about it that needed that either Hitchcock touch, or I think films like Duel, Road Games, even films like Disturbia, where they had a little bit more factor that just made them a bit more stand out, or a bit more punch, or something a bit more that I can't quite put my fingers on as to why. It seems like a film I should like more than I do. I don't hate it, watch it again, but maybe because like at the beginning, I understand why they're doing it, because it shows that there's an arc that happens. But you have this couple who are traveling, and you get the idea they're about ready to get a divorce. Later throughout the film, you realize that that was probably caused because a kid of theirs died. They were not able to handle it. So it's just that for the first chunk of the movie, you just have this couple being so bitchy at each other. And I didn't get as lost. No, you slept 300 miles. Why don't you just take more of those? Like, they're just being so bitchy and just. I'm like, it leaves. I get it story-wise, but as a viewer, it leaves you with, I don't want to be around a bitchy couple just nagging on each other or sniping at each other. I feel like I'm the awkward guy in the back seat going, put me back in the fridge. Just, you both of you shut the fuck up, put a cock in your mouth, a coke in a smile, and shut the hell up. It just, so it just starts things off on a annoyed front, an annoyed state of mind, if that makes sense. Now here's this pissy couple being pissy at each other, okay. That granted, it's supposed to be where eventually, because of the series of events, they learn to trust each other, and they help each other, and they have their moments to shine, then by the end, their love is brought together again. And I read that apparently they really did not like each other, Kate and Luke Wilson. Now, I read that apparently Luke Wilson, he was having some troubles where he was showing up late and he was intoxicated. I don't know how much of that is true or BS. I don't know. Just, I like Luke Wilson. I do like him as an actor. It was cool to see him as the lead. It was cool to see kind of a tough guy version of his character. I'm gonna go take care of this prick. It was kind of nice to see Luke Wilson, because he's usually playing a certain type of character. You don't ever really get to see him as tough. So I thought that was a nice change of pace. And then Kate Beckinsale is definitely more vulnerable, far away from those underworld movies that she was in. I don't think both are bad acting wise. Frank Whaley, I thought he had the right amount of. He seems nice as the motel manager, but you tell something's up with him. And he definitely has that creepy demeanor later on. He just has the right face for it. But yeah, it's one of those things where I keep thinking of the word basic. I don't know why. Just I guess you say it kind of does the basic things throughout. They swerve because they don't want to hit an animal. Their engine's screwed up. They go to a garage guy who seems nice, but you're thinking, okay, I've seen enough of these horror films that if you meet a garage guy who's near the vicinity of the evil place, whether it be a house, whether it be, in this case, a motel, more than likely they're involved in some way or some shape. And lo and behold, they are. So you're not really surprised by that. And then, especially when you think everything's fine, then the car breaks down, even worse so. So you're like, okay, yep, that guy definitely had something to do with it. So it wasn't a surprise or anything. And then when they get to the motel, it's banging doors, which my cat apparently wants out. If you heard that bang. But they're not getting out because it's cold out there. So you just don't have to calm down. Best time, the doors, there's banging. They can't go outside because there's killers out there. Luke Wilson gets to a phone, the phone booth, but then has to get out of the way because the car's ready to crash through it and almost hits him. And it kind of makes you go, yeah, maybe in a motel there's only so much you can do. But maybe it's the director. Like, this director, maybe if you had, like, okay, this was made in the 80s, and it was directed by Richard Franklin, who did Road Games and Psycho 2. Or this was the hands of someone who knew a bit more with horror, knew a little bit more with suspense. Does Nimród Antal, I never thought he was that great of a director. He did Armored, which I thought was okay. I did. I don't love the film, but I thought it was okay. But at the same time, I've seen it once or twice. I never watch it again. It just, it was there. I've seen worse. I've seen better. Predators, Adrian Brody, not a fan of. Sally's not the worst because it's better than The Predator. I probably even would rather watch it than Prey. But Predators, I'm still not a fan of. I thought it was rather bland. Retribution, he did that film with Liam Neeson, where him and his kids are like trapped in his car and they can't get out. It's like someone saying, it'll blow up if you do this and you gotta do this, or I'm gonna blow your car up with your kids inside. And I reviewed that. That was a really lame film. I think this was the director. I don't think he's the best in trying to raise the tension. I mean, style-wise, the most stylistic shots are the opening credits, where it shows like a name, and then the screen will turn, and it'll zoom out, then there's another name there, and just how these names are connected, and then by the end of the credits, they kind of feeds into, oh, it looks like a carpet, but then some of them feeds into the license plate. Yeah, the most stylistic shot is that. There's not a lot of style of the movie. If you have like nice like camera movements, angles, point of view shots, like stuff to really utilize the motel to make it a life of its own, to make it a figure of its own. In the hands of someone who really knew about style, I think you could really had something to really make it claustrophobic in that motel, to make it seem like it's suffocating in that motel, to make it seem like every nook and cranny, every noise, you're on alert. I don't think the guy really does that. It's kind of we're in the motel, they're trying to figure out what to do. They can't leave. They're watching the tape, studying them. What do we do? Like I said, they try to leave, they go back. It just very basic stuff. And again, I would put the blame on the director, especially based on what he's done later. He's never a guy that went, "Ooh, that's an up and comer." Basic director made a basic movie that I think there's more that could have been done with this premise. I did to really make this a threatening situation. At least to me, that's just the way I look at it. But I do think, like, the premise itself, I think the actors involved, they're doing what they can. And I think they help carry the movie. Plus the fact it's such a short running time, I think that stuff helps. And if you're watching it, other than the opening where it's just like, oh god, do I have to stay with this couple really? You don't. Once they stop bitching at each other, and they hear banging on the door, and I did Luke Wilson get more and more pissed off, which it was cool to see because it's something different for him. That's when the movie really started for me. And after that, it was like, because it's not a gory film. They didn't go for that. It's not a big body count film, because there's not much of that going on. It's not really a creepy movie. And I'm sure there are times that you kind of get annoyed by what the characters are doing. But at the same time, when you're in such a stress-filled situation, it's kind of hard to make the right decision. Because I know I've been stressed and I make dumb decisions. Obviously not on purpose. And once in a while the director has a decent looking scene, like the bit where Luke Wilson's at a phone booth. A car's coming, and then not only it crashes through it, but you see the car going at him as he's going towards the motel, and then he jumps through it while the car swerves. That's not a badly done scene. But again, it's one of those things where I keep thinking of the word basic. I don't know how to put it. Not horrible, not terrible, but just kind of there. And I guess to get more into spoilers, they're looking through the snuff tapes. They're realizing, wait, some people on these tapes, they pop out of nowhere, it seems. They don't come through the door. The window's too small, so how the hell they get in? They find a trap door in the bathroom, and there's these tunnels. And they will go through the tunnels. They're able to get to this garage. Now, this is what I'm talking about where they're not really making the smartest decisions. It's a garage. So I'm thinking, okay, it's a garage. Aren't there weapons? You would think there'd be weapons in this garage. And if there are, they don't take any. They don't take any damn stuff. Like, you don't have any weapons in this garage to arm yourself? Or hell, if their garage, I would think it's far away. Far enough away, at least from the motel. Make a run for it. Through the woods. And keep running until dawn. Running through the woods. Just, they should not know what direction you're going in. Make a run through the woods. Because they don't know you're there right now. So either make a run for it, because they don't know, again, they should not know what direction you went in and you're there in the first place. or arm yourself, and they don't do either of that. Now, to be fair, there's a point where before they do that, they're able to call a little bit 911, so they're waiting there for 911 to send a cop there. So to be fair, I know that's what they're doing. So you say that's a smart decision to stay in place until a cop comes by. I can understand that. But at least arm yourself then. If you're not going to make a run for it, at least arm yourself. It's a garage. I'm sure there's a lot of weaponry you can find in a damn garage. I would think. But they don't arm themselves at all. A cop comes, and again, there are times it gets predictable. Like I said, the garage worker, he's in on it. And of course he is, played by Ethan Embry. Again, this is spoilers, I said. The cop, he's going to get killed, and he does. Again, there's not really anything in terms of gore. So if you're looking for that, you don't be disappointed. Especially in this era where you had like Saw and Hostel. Now, okay, you don't want to go that route, that's fine, but you're definitely going to find some people be disappointed with that. To me, that's fine. Like road games I love, and that's not a lot of gore in it. But those are better movies than this. I'm trying to think. Like I said, they deal with the cop. He gets killed. They run back to the motel yet again. And then I guess Luke has his idea, hide in the ceiling. I'm going to try to... I forget what he said he was going to try to do. Now, you would think... Well, I guess... They're in the cop car. Oh, yeah, the car won't work. I was going to say grab the shotgun, but you probably need the damn keys for the shotgun, and he probably has the keys on him. I thought that was going to be the case where one of them's going to try to get the keys from the cop and get the shotgun, and then have some shotgun fun, but no, that's not the case in this. That would have been one of the ideas I had, but oh well. I don't know what the cat's moaning about. Maybe he's moaning that... He's probably... You know what? He knows what I was going to say, what I was going to moan about. I remember the first time I saw this, I was pissed about this. Watch it again, I understand what they're doing. So I guess I wasn't as pissed. Luke Wilson's ready to do something, he gets stabbed. You think he's dead. Kate hit in the ceiling. When it was time, she went down. She goes out. I guess there's one of the bad guys' car. She gets into that. And then it's kind of... I wouldn't say anticlimactic. But it just seemed like it ended... I don't want to say quickly, but I almost want to say that, where... She gets in a car, one is trying to attack her, she drives right into the other guy and kills both of them at the same time. There's 3 killers, so she killed 2 at the same time. By running to this one of the motel rooms, crushes the one guy, kill the other guy who's up on top. And then there's Frank Whaley, has a little bit of tussle with him, until she gets a gun and shoots the shit out of him. Goes to Luke Wilson. He's not really dead. The cops, the ambulance is coming. And I guess, they love each other again and everything will be fine. Because what they're doing is that throughout most of the film, Luke Wilson is the one making decisions. He's the one that finds out that there's a trapdoor. He's the one that figures out that it was a snuff film in the first place. Like, he's the one that realizes it's a snuff film in the first place, and it's the same motel room. He's the first to mention that, and he's the guy that finds the trapdoor. He's the one keeping them alive for most of the film. So I guess they felt, well, Luke's going to do that, so that at the end, Kate Beckinsale is going to get the glory. But I kind of would prefer both of them working in tandem. So you just say, I mean, I guess still in this instance they needed each other. He just did all the startup work and then she finished the job. I kind of would have preferred if they were together, where he does something, then she does something, then he does something, then she does something. And both of them take on these three guys. So Luke Wilson takes on one guy, and then she takes on one guy, or they both kill one together. Oh, yeah, I would have been fine if Frank, she kills the two, but then Frank really has her, but then Luke like punches him a few times and then shoots him. I just would rather have them work in tandem together throughout the film instead of it's all Luke, then it's all Kate. And it's like I get why they're doing it, but also I don't get. They're obviously used to killing people. How do they not check that Luke Wilson is dead or not? It's almost as if they wanted him to be dead, then last minute they changed. Oh no, he's alive. Maybe that was not the case, but I'm just saying that's what it felt like. It could very well not be the case, and this was all intended, but I don't know. Like I say, watch it again. Like I said, I like the premise. The two actors, after the bitch mode in the first 10 minutes, they both do fine work. I don't mind Kate Beckinsale. I like Luke Wilson. The movie's short enough that it doesn't get too boring, so I can appreciate that. It just, again, there's not a lot memorable about the movie. Like, there's no scenes that go, man, that was fucked up, or man, that was such a creepy scene when that happened, or man, when that happened, it was such a crowd-pleasing scene. Not really. And that's why I kept mentioning the word basic. So at the end of the day, I would say it's okay. It's alright. I don't think it's badly photographed. Again, I do wish there was a lot more style. I wish, like, the style they put in the opening credits, they put throughout the rest of the movie. And yeah, it's okay. I thought it was okay. I know they did a Vacancy prequel, which I would say I like this more than that one. But I don't remember it being the worst movie ever, to be fair. I don't remember hating it. But I don't remember, I don't know. So, I would say of the director's work, I like this more than Retribution. I like it more than Predators. Armored, I don't know. Again, that's another film that I thought was just okay. Kind of like this. Again, I think in the hands of a different director, this would have been more like Alexander Aja. If you had Alexander Aja, or I guess someone else who has a bit of a horror credential under the belt, or suspense, this could have been a bit more to it. But as is, it was okay. I don't hate the film. Watching it, I did not hate the movie. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.